Are you planning to bring your family with you while studying in Australia? If yes, this video is definitely for you. Because today, I'll walk you through how much it costs to bring your partner or kids on a student visa. This video will cover the current financial requirements, show you a real example of what the budget could look like, and answer some of the most common questions students ask about sponsorship, scholarship, and proving funds. Alright, let's get started. So, first thing first, let's talk about the core financial requirements. To get a student visa, you need to show genuine access to funds that can cover your tuition fees, your travel costs, overseas student health cover, and at least 12 months of living expenses for yourself and for every family member coming with you. Right now, the minimum living costs set by the Australian government are as follows. And if you have a school-age child, you also need to include school fees, at least $13,502 per year minimum. For example, in Perth, international school fees can go up to $20,000 a year. So while meeting the minimum requirement is important, it's a good idea to have some extra funds set aside to make sure you're well prepared for any additional expenses. Now, apart from living expenses, there are other mandatory costs you shouldn't forget. There's a travel cost requirement, usually around $2,000 per person. Then, there's overseas student health cover, or OSHC. This has to cover your whole family for the entire length of your visa. And yes, couple or family insurance is way pricier than the single policy ones. For example, if you're studying a 2-year master's degree and you're bringing your spouse and one child, health insurance alone can cost more than $23,000 Australian dollars. If you're unsure which policy best suits your situation, feel free to contact us through the link in the description below, and we'll help you compare your options and find the most suitable cover. Alright, let's look at what the budget looks like in numbers. Let's say you're studying a 2-year master's degree in Perth and you're bringing your partner and one school-age child. Just looking at the first year, without tuition yet, your total will already be over $75,000. That includes your family living costs, your child's school fees, health insurance, and travel expenses. Here is the rough calculation. And once you add your first year tuition fee, let's say 40,000 Australian dollars for a Master of Commerce, your total for the first year comes to over $115,000. That's a huge investment, and that's why planning early and carefully is so important. So, how do you actually prove you have this amount of money? There are two main methods. The first option is the 12-month funds method. This is where you show proof of bank savings, an education loan, or a scholarship that covers all your major expenses, including tuition, living, schooling, health insurance, and travel. But here's the key. The money has to be in your account for at least 3 months before you apply. A sudden large deposit right before applying can raise red flags. The second option is the annual income method. Instead of showing savings, you can prove that your parents or a non-traveling spouse earn at least $102,500 per year and has to be backed up with official government documents like tax records. Since that threshold is quite high, most applicants still choose the saving method. But if this option works better for you, then go for it. Meeting the numbers alone is not enough. The Department of Home Affairs will also look at whether the money is genuinely accessible to you. They will look at where the money came from, how stable your sponsor income is, and whether your financial story makes sense. If your account looks like the money was just parked there, or if your sponsor finances don't add up, there's a good chance your visa could be refused. Strong financial evidence is also tied to the genuine student requirement, so this is not something to take lightly. Because when you can demonstrate that you have enough funds, it tells the case officer that you are well prepared and serious about studying, you plan your education and life in Australia responsibly, and you're less likely to breach visa conditions, for example by working beyond permitted hours or dropping out due to financial stress. Alright, let's move on to some of the most frequently asked questions about financial requirements for dependents. Question number 1. If I'm on a scholarship, can my dependents also be covered? Yes, in some cases. Scholarships often include coverage for dependents, but it depends on what's written in your scholarship contract. If it clearly lists what covered, like tuition, living costs, or health insurance, those amounts can be deducted from what you'd normally need to show. Question 2. Can my father-in-law sponsor both me and my spouse? Yes, that's possible, but the department will look at it very carefully. For example, you'll need to prove your relationship through your marriage certificate, and you need to provide your spouse's birth certificate, and also show strong evidence of your sponsor's income, tax record, and assets. The stronger your documents, the better your chances. Question number 3. Is a 3-month bank statement enough? Yes, but only if the money has actually been in the account for the full 3 months before you apply. The department wants to see stability, not last-minute borrowed money. So, make sure your statements clearly show steady funds that cover everyone's cost. So that's the big picture of what it really costs to bring your dependents, how to prove your funds, and what a realistic budget looks like. If you're bringing your partner or kids, the key takeaway is simple. Plan early, prepare your documents properly, and make sure your financial evidence is solid. And just a quick disclaimer, everything shared in this video is general information only. If your situation is complicated or you need specific visa advice, it's best to book a consultation with an Australian registered migration agent. A professional consultation with our in-house migration agent is payable, but you can also start with a free initial consultation with Education One consultant to discuss your study and visa options. Just click the link in the description below. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss out on any of our future videos about studying and migrating to Australia, especially if you're planning to bring your loved ones along. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.